Okay, people, what has happened to this tank? Man, this tank looked great. Gotta clean it out. But anyway, I'll tell you what happened with this tank. I think the snails are still loving it. But what happened with this tank? About 3 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I took out a bunch of Java moths. And keep in mind, this is a snail tank only anyway. Okay, I took out a bunch of Java moths to, go sell at a an auction we had in Louisville, Kentucky. Gotta clean that pre-filter out bad. So I'm gonna clean this tank out really well. But what happened is I took out a bunch of Java moths. It stirred stuff up. And keep in mind, I normally don't vacuum tanks, thoroughly or cleanly. This got to be done. But it just all fell apart. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cut to a different picture to show you what this tank should have looked like, or what it did look like. And then we'll be right back. Alright, this is what the tank should have looked like, or did look like. Now, you say there's 1,000 snails in there, man. Cool. Some more snails. I can sell the snails, and people love it. Okay? That's what the tank did look like, until I started messing with it and sold off some Java moths. Look at this tank. And, oh my God, red albinos, people. They're coming available, but look at all the moths, and look how good that looks. Okay? But sometimes it doesn't look so good. Okay, we're losing, I don't know why, the same exact light and everything else. So I'm going to rip that moss out, put in some new moss. Not so good here either. Look at that, growing algae. Now I don't mind that as much, because the shrimp seem to like it and blah blah blah, but this tank's still doing pretty well. So the question comes down to, why can you get one tank looking this green and lush, and then you come to this tank, same light, exact light, and it's dying off? And then another tank, moss. Well, I don't know. I mean, probably because of the wood. These tanks all have wood in them. Okay? These tanks don't. Now, what does wood do, people? Ginger, you sneezing baby. Well, you're going to go to the vet next week. Because we don't need to have sneezing. We love the ginger, don't we? Yes, we do. Her's a good girl. Her loves her daddy. But anyway, back to this. So, could it come down to pH? Of course. Every tank is going to be different, no matter what. I mean, all of the lights are the same. The light bulbs are exactly the same on each of these tanks. They're no different, So, why do we have... And that's pretty decent, honestly. Move this over here. There, you can see a little bit better. I mean, it's pretty decent. But, I don't understand why I go from this tank to this tank that's got moss issues and dying off, and this tank. Well, I don't know. But, I don't know. Could come down to pH and, what's different? Is this little piece of wood in here, different than that piece of wood? Then that piece of wood you can't even see. These tanks have no wood in them at all. And Ginger probably agrees, don't you? So, Zorro, what are you doing? You can't even see him, too dark. But anyway, it just kind of gets away from the idea. So that other tank I'm going to clean out. This tank with the purple Moscows, and again, I don't really, understand, why it's dying off. Could it be because this has more air or less air? I don't know. I'm not going to tie it up right now, but I don't know. It's just not looking nearly as good as this stuff. And it brings me back to that very, very last tank. It looked great until I pulled it all up to go sell at a show. So I don't know. No, purple Moscow still looking good. Way too many females though. We'll have to put a cell on these babies real soon. But anyway, that's it for now. And if y'all have any suggestions, let me know. Alright, well, anyway, this tank's been cleaned out. Kind of an update. I actually did a gravel back on here, and I haven't done those in ages. You can see the pre-filter is clear. I cleaned out all the other filters. I don't know about that Java moss. I might have to break it up, but see, there's still some, you can see in there, still some algae in there. I need to break that up. Snell's been eating snail jelly, but, I can't for the life of me. A couple of weeks ago, this thing was luscious green until I sold, some Java moss up, so I don't know what I've done. It's just crazy how you can have so many tanks with all the same lighting, the same water coming out of the same sink. And I understand rocks in here might throw the pH off, but it was fine a while back. So I may end up ripping all this out and then going to one of my cleaner tanks and pulling some moss out and starting all over with it. Kind of like that purple Moscow tank in there. The other room that looks like it's almost dead. I'll have to, I might pull most of that out and then transplant some other moss. One thing I hate about doing that, on occasion, when I've taken moss out, I don't mind the snails, transferring from tanks to tanks. I could care less about that. Once in a while, though, you get a little fry that you didn't see that was trapped in the moss, and then you dump it in another tank, and now all of a sudden, you mix colors. Now all of a sudden, I've got a freaking red albino, in a purple Moscow tank. That is bad, bad, bad. Can't have that going on. So that's the only thing that concerns me about that stuff. So anyway, leave comments below. Give a thumbs up, give a like, whatever. I don't know where that snail's trying to go, but I love these red ram's horns. But any opinions y'all got, help me out on them. I understand every tank chemistry is different, but, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Later.